It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. He, over there, Eric Harley.
Hi.
I'm Gary McNamara on this side of the studio. All right.
Yeah?
What did we say earlier this week? What did we say that Republicans and Trump should do on voter ID? We made it very, very simple. We simply said the Republicans should say Democrats don't want voter ID because they want to cheat.
Yeah. Right.
And we've said that a number of times here since this has become the new supposed controversy out there, which doesn't exist with the public. So here's Trump yesterday. You ready?
All right.
Here we go.
The Democrats don't want to give us voter ID because they want to cheat. The only way they can cheat is if they, look, we can stop them so easy. You know what they say? We don't want voter ID because it's racist. Okay? That's a good one. It's racist. No. I'll tell you what, when they look at the polls, 95% of the people want voter ID.
Okay. Actually, it's 83%, but...
Well, plus or minus 12, what's that, 12 points?
Well, it is. Well, 95% of Republicans is, I think, what he wanted to say. Because 95% of Republicans.
Right. And we want to talk to the 5%.
Exactly.
This is Scott Rasmussen or any of his folks that are listening, any of our pollster friends.
Well,
the good pollster friends.
John Kasich, Liz Cheney.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. We want to
Massey.
We want to talk to that 5%. Can you give us their phone numbers? Please.
We looked at a chat with with them. Now I don't know because I didn't see the full poll. The other 5% could have been, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I still want to talk to them.
Is that
how do you not know?
Is that the stuff? Is that the thing that I can get my stuff from the smoke and vape shop?
Exactly. See, I actually have coffee. I don't drink coffee every night, but when I do, I choose no. I have coffee in my hand right now, so I'm going to just play Gary Cole from Office Space. Yeah. We want to talk to that 5%.
But we said that should be the message just over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to explain it. You know, all you have to do is say Democrats don't want voter ID because they want to cheat.
Yeah.
We want sorry, the polls don't show it. What you're saying is the people that vote for you are complete idiots. That that minorities can't recognize what true racism is. And so you want it because you want to cheat. And then when they say something, you go, you want it because you want to cheat.
Yep.
This is what, again, when you repeat something over and over again, like you and I were talking about all of a sudden in the last couple of days, and it was because of Ed O'Keefe from CBS. Has the president ever been called a racist unfairly? And Caroline Leavitt was like, what? And everybody burst out laughing.
Right.
It wasn't her response because they all know, well, yeah, of course. And all we had to say is we didn't have to go any further. Oh, we had to give one example. Charlottesville. We're done. Move on.
Yeah. Right.
But then, of course, the White House and other media have put out just the succession over and over again of Democrats saying that. And then you had Pritzker. I think he was on MSNBC? It was one of them he was on. And Pritzker's like, well, I've never compared him to Hitler. And the host said, I don't know anybody who ever compared him to Hitler. Yeah. And then there it is again.
Right.
There it is. It comes out, here's where Pritzker called and compared him to Hitler over and over again. Yeah. But this is the last couple of days. And the only thing that makes something like this happen is the fact that the polling is showing them that it's a negative when they do that. It doesn't get you anywhere by doing that. And then, what was it? Is the I can't think of it's one of the officials in in Illinois who's running for U.S. Senate. And a National Review had I can't play the ad.
Right.
I don't think can you play a political ad like that on, do you have to play that on the networks? I don't think
I think they can refuse it based on the language.
Yeah, because it's basically F Trump. It's people out there just actually saying the word,
right? And
it's like, see, they're saying it, so I won't say it, but is it the lieutenant governor? I can't think of who. Just popped into my mind now, and but it was just like, wow.
Yeah, I think can refuse that based on the language, or require them to edit it. It's if you look at that, for those who saw the clip on social media, or if you happen to watch MSNBC with Pritzker, first of all, be nice. The camera adds 300 pounds. But beyond that, I don't know why they've gone down this path. Why now? Not only it would be one thing if they said, hey, let's just stop calling Trump Hitler. Let's just quietly, if they just move away from that.
Yeah,
that'd be one thing.
It's Illinois,
but they're coming out and saying it never happened.
It's Illinois Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton, who is running for U.S. Senate.
Yeah,
and she said they said it. We're all thinking it. It's the whole ad is using the word F Trump, F Trump, F Trump, F Trump.
Right.
And so, what does the polling say there?
Right. Well, I was telling you that I have seen our beloved Jasmine Crockett, your congressperson, who's running for Senate in Texas. I've seen 2 ads. And the first one that came out that I haven't seen, I don't know if it's not running, and I'm seeing digital ads. I don't watch commercial television, so I'm seeing digital ads. And I saw the first one was impeach Kristi Noem, and stop ICE, right? And that was the commercial. It was all that, right? And they were showing the videos of the conflict and the conflicts and ICE doing their job and everything else, and everything that was happening in Minnesota, clips from that, all of that. But everything was based on that. And, she put the exclamation point on it with, impeach Kristi Noem. Now she's moved to, and it's like high school marching band. You see these high school marching band drummers. It looks like the setting of a high school football, which is massive in Texas, right? High school football. There's 2 things, church on Sunday, high school football on Friday. They made a series about how popular a movie, and then TV series about how popular high school football is.
The Cowboys are at least in 3rd place.
Right, exactly. Listen, if they could play at a high school level, I'd be happy. I'd be happy with that.
Then they did Friday night football and Sunday afternoon football.
That's right.
And they always play on Sunday afternoon because they're not good enough to play in prime time.
Right, exactly. But I was telling you in the pre-show meeting, I said, okay, I don't know if the one ad about impeach Kristi Noem and stop ICE, because my first thought was, this is Texas. I don't know how that's going to resonate. Look, we know Austin, Travis County, Harris County, which is Houston, Dallas County, maybe to a certain extent.
And it is the Democrat primary.
Yeah, it's the primary. Right. It is. But the problem is, too, you're trying to get, you're still reaching non-Democrats. When you put those out, well, I'm case in point. I'm never going to be her target audience. But the point is, did that come back negative? Again, I don't know. Because I thought, even in a primary, I just don't know that works in Texas. Again, maybe it's still running somewhere, and I just haven't seen it, and they rotated that one out, and they're going to rotate it back in later. I don't know. But the other thing is this backing away, trying to reverse, for some weird reason, calling Trump a Nazi and a racist. Why now? Why why even, what is going on with the party that this has become a thing? Pritzker of all people?
Because loyal Democrats don't want to stop that.
Right.
They don't want to stop it. And unless the polls, let me back off, unless the polls are showing something that we don't know. I did notice that because I had been paying attention again, and I watch, broadcast and streaming, whatever now. But I can't tell you which one was running where.
Right.
But I've seen a number of Democrat ads running, even for state senate here in Texas, whatever. Everything is about. This is the primary going on. They weren't really hitting Trump.
Right.
They were saying we're going to be out there. We'll make sure we'll protect the border and bring down your property taxes.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, wow. Now, that may be where the momentum is in Texas across the board. But if you're running in a Democratic primary, I was sitting there thinking, okay, what is the data that they're seeing that's saying as a Democrat running in a Democrat primary in the state of Texas, that we have to talk about the fact that we're going to continue to protect the border. Didn't mention ICE, didn't mention, again, if you're here illegally, sending you back. It just said we're going to protect the border and lower property taxes.
Right.
And I know the other thing, and because we all share the same values. And all I'm thinking of, because I'm almost praying that a Democrat comes to my door. Since, by the way, when you said that you weren't the target audience for Jasmine Crockett, I once was.
You were.
For the general election.
Right. Exactly.
No, I didn't vote for her.
No. And you can't prove it.
Could you imagine that one? That might ruin my credibility a little bit. Well, I did vote for Jasmine Crockett because I thought at the time she was bringing some new ideas to the Democratic Party.
By the way, I am waiting for Democrats to start this one. Why should how people vote be secret? Right?
Yes.
It's like, that shouldn't be. We should know how everybody votes. I'm waiting for that one. Go down. Because if they're going to say stupid things like the governor of California, you were telling me in the, or we were talking about it in the pre-show meeting, Gavin Newsom, I don't even know how to get my birth certificate.
Oh, yeah, we'll have that one. I don't know how to get my birth certificate. I'm only governor of California. Well, let me see. What city were you born in?
Yeah. What county were you born in?
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
What city, county were you born in?
Right.
You simply contact them. There's an agency you contact, and because of modern technology, you can have it in a couple of days. You mean Gavin Newsom doesn't have a passport?
Right. Does he not have a copy of his birth certificate somewhere?
Right. He doesn't know where to find. And that's sort of, look, Democrats, I know you're idiots and don't know how to do it. I need to relate to you and let you know I'm an idiot too, and I don't know how to get my birth certificate.
I'm so I don't even know. Listen, I know California like the back of my head. What the hell is that on my left hand?
Gavin,
it's just so stupid.
Gavin Gump.
Yes. I may not know where my birth certificate is, but I know how to govern California. Ice cream. It's just so stupid.
I know.
Because if I'm sitting across from him, I don't care what the setting. Interview, debate, whatever, and he says that to me, my response would be, how did you win?
Well, we played it last night. We didn't do a lot of commentary on it, but we've been there for the longest time, and it's where Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, finally said to the CNN group, well, what do you have to say about all this? He goes, you're all nuts.
You're crazy. Yeah.
Sorry, you're all nuts.
You're all crazy.
You're nuts.
You're insane.
It's gotten to
insane.
that point. Now, the thing is, though, he can explain it, and we can explain precisely, and that's a difference. We can tell you precisely why the opinion you hold is nuts.
Yes,
They call you nuts, but they can't tell you why their opinion of calling you a nuts. They can't back it up with the specifics, with the minutia, because that's the whole thing, and that's what we've always thought. That's what you have to do if you're going to call somebody something, a racist, a Nazi, whatever.
Yeah.
You better be able to back that up. If
Right.
you call somebody nuts, you ought to be able to say how. Well, because they believe that a man can magically be a woman. Right there is nuts. That can't happen. A person may think they are, but they're not.
Right.
And there's a difference between thinking and reality.
Right. Well, remember the whole thing years ago. The first man to give birth. Nope.
Yes.
Hey, ladies, a man gave birth. Okay, y'all discuss amongst yourself, especially those of you who have had babies. Sit around and talk about that a man gave birth.
Yeah.
Nope.
And from what I know, the
It's
man
impossible.
and the man didn't complain at all about the pain or anything because they're
Are you
men.
kidding me? Are you kidding? Fainting in the operating room during childbirth is a thing, and it's 99.9% the dad. Just watching it is too much.
We are Red Eye Radio.
Brought to you by Hot Shot Secret.
Hi, I'm Jen Loomis, a transport safety expert at J.J. Keller. Due to safety concerns, many motor carriers have policies that limit or prohibit the use of cruise control. You should only use it in good driving conditions, during daylight hours, and on roads that have light traffic, few curves or hills, and a consistent speed limit. Never use cruise control when operating in adverse driving conditions, including wet, icy, or slippery roads, during rush hour in heavy traffic or on congested highways, at night, or when you're tired or fatigued. You want to be controlling and adjusting your speed as you drive instead of having to suddenly brake if you encounter an obstacle. In the case of a slippery road surface, you want to be able to slow your vehicle by not accelerating instead of using the brakes whenever possible. This tip was brought to you by J.J. Keller and Associates. Visit us at jjkeller.com.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's our Carly, and I'm Gary McNamara. Here's a clip from Gavin Newsom. Here we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
I mean, which is also part of Jim Crow, the history, and that is when it comes to registration, you got to find your birth certificate. If you know where yours is, I have no clue where mine is.
No.
I don't know where I get my birth certificate. I'm the governor of California.
I was running for governor.
And I don't know where to find my birth certificate.
My gosh, that should be his slogan for 28 if he runs. Run, Forrest, run. I mean, seriously. Because it's as you said, and it's exactly what I thought. The moment I saw it yesterday, it was like, this is so stupid. He thinks you're stupid, and he wants to play stupid.
Yep.
Now, he's not just playing stupid. He's also stupid for thinking that it won't come off as, for any critical thinker, which is, and we believe everybody's capable of critical thinking. You know, you have to choose to engage in it. But anybody can see what he's doing. Why would you think you could get away with playing stupid? That in and of itself is stupid. My mama says stupid is as stupid does. Ice cream. Lieutenant Dan, ice cream. I don't know where my birth certificate is.
He was born in 1967 in San Francisco.
All right.
Governor Newsom called the San Francisco Records Office.
There you go. That county office,
Right.
whatever, whoever is in charge. And
That's where
you
your
go.
birth certificate.
Yep.
We're just trying to help him out since
maybe we should get one sent to the governor.
Catch Red Eye Radio live every night on the Red Eye Radio app, available in the App Store. Red Eye Radio.
And he is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Good morning. Download our Red Eye Radio app today. You can listen when you choose. All right, so let's play this little audio here.
All right.
From the Olympics. All right, here we go. Here we go. Now, so it's the U.S. women's hockey team, but they're showing. But there's, of course, they won the gold medal yesterday, the overtime game against Canada, and you can see that they are all passionately singing the Star-Spangled Banner.
Yeah.
And the headline here is, notice the difference between the U.S.A. women's hockey team and the U.S.A. women's soccer team.
Yeah.
Well, that's because, we have made here in the United States, hockey is now our national sport.
That's right.
And
we'll wait for our Canadians to stop crying.
I know.
Our Canadian friends.
And by the way, that was...
Yeah. And we've also banned soccer, except for children. That's not true. There are a few people that like soccer.
Well, the thing
States.
is, I remember back in the 90s when they got into... Remember, it was in the 90s when we got into the whole no-score thing. Yeah, and they were like, "No, we have a policy now for our soccer league where we don't have score. We don't keep score." And it's like, well, that's because you don't score.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It doesn't really change the game at all. So 3 hours without scoring, hours we call it soccer.
Right, soccer really isn't a sport.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Oh, let me throw this.
It's running. You know what it is? It really is.
It's running after a ball.
By the way, we look forward to your email. It's that little magnetic football game where everybody's just running and random, and one guy has control of the ball until he doesn't.
I will say this though, it's my buddy Jerry, who I talk about a lot. He's got into soccer, but he knows a bunch of guys who originally from Great Britain who live here. From what I know, they're conservative. Yeah. But, I think they're from Liverpool.
Right, yeah.
And if you ever met anybody from Liverpool for their soccer team, it's sort of like if you're a Green Bay Packer fan or a Bills fan. I mean, they're just... Oh, you sort of do fall in love with their passion. I've sat there and then soccer I have no interest in, and they're all watching soccer. But I actually, when I was there one time with them, we're at a sports bar watching it. No, it was not a sports bar, but it was a bar, but where they had the game on. And they're just so into it where it was like, oh, okay, that's a pretty good play. That was a pretty good play. Yeah. But I love it because I remember I think it started in the 90s where soccer became more popular, and then it was, well, soccer's not a sport, and neither is NASCAR. Remember that one?
Yeah. Right.
It's like, all you had to do was a talk show. That was the beginning of talk radio. All right, we need a controversial topic. What is it? Soccer sucks and I hate NASCAR. All right, that'll get the people really furious. So, do that. Go ahead. Egg them on.
Well, I can one up, America's pastime. Baseball is not a sport. It's let's face it. In the early days, it was a bunch of high-functioning alcoholics just knocking it out. I mean, you put a few in me, I probably, I'm not going to have a 500 average. But I'd probably hit a few. I'll hit it a little harder because of the whiskey or whatever it is I would be drinking.
Remember the steroid?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
The promotion of having a steroid league?
And it's funny because during that whole thing, I was saying, I want guys with 42-inch arms coming out going, okay, this is it. And if you don't knock it out of the park, you're fined. You get a fine for not knocking it out of the park.
We have fun with this because it's like arguing sports is like arguing music.
Exactly.
People like what they like.
Exactly.
It's a stupid thing, but it's always humorous to bring it up and watch how people respond. I only listen to country music. I don't listen to anything else but country music.
Well, I
only watch football, hockey.
That's right.
Badminton.
Yeah, I had a friend who's I never watch cartoons. I'm like, well, okay, well, we'll not talk about your childhood then. But I I'm not going to quote him exactly, but Dusty Slay has a bit, and I'll just say this. It's basically the point he makes is he only had to learn. He only had to drown one horse to learn how to play water polo. That's again paraphrasing the joke, but that's the essence of the bit.
I'm going to insult water polo from now until I die, because it's that sport that those billionaires play.
Yeah.
And billionaires are evil. Therefore, polo is evil.
Remember when we did?
This is fun. I like the
back
Friday
when
shows.
Marco Rubio ran for president, and on the air we did Marco Rubio, and then the following weekend they did that on SNL. You remember that? I mean, look, it's probably not the most original joke, but I do take writing credit for it. No, it's when it comes to sports, especially with the Olympics. You look at this, and you're representing your country. I don't need you to come out wearing a MAGA hat. I don't need you to come out politically on anything. I would like to think that you've worked pretty hard in order to represent your country for a reason, that it's not just your own personal achievement. It's not, I saw a clip on YouTube, Shaun White, the former Olympic snowboarder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did the what do they call it, the half pipe, again.
Does he look old yet?
Yeah, and he was getting there.
Okay.
It looks fine, I guess, but it looked like he had shed some tears because he misses it. I'm like, come on, dude, it's snowboarding. You can go snowboarding. It's okay. You're very capable of doing it. You don't have to miss it. But I think to myself, okay, yes, it's about personal achievement. So, yeah, that's by the way, not a bad thing. But it's also about you've worked all of this, you put in all of this effort and discipline and work and training and all of this to get to a point. Why? Because you're trying to make the Olympic team. You want to represent your country. I don't need you to come out and say Germany sucks. It's not. It's not necessary. You just come out, and if you wave the flag, look, I represented my country. But you can't do that if you're a radical leftist.
Latvia, we got to kick the crap out of them.
Listen, there's only two kinds of people I can't stand: people who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch.
It's you and I spend. I've spent the last 37 years doing this, and you look at the problems of the society that you live in, and you analyze the problems, you analyze the honesty of the politicians in there.
Yeah.
We are constantly surrounded, and we cover mostly news that is negative.
Yeah, right.
And you and I both have gotten this. Well, hasn't it jaded you? Well, no, because I understand human nature, so nothing has jaded me. I look at, for example, the Constitution of the United States. I look, for example, this is such a unbelievably great country. And when you look at just the fact that we're the ones that got freedom of speech down, and all these other Western countries are moving in the opposite direction, as if to shutting up people is some type of more moral higher ground than allowing people to say what they want. Well, that right there puts the United States at the top of the heap.
Yeah, exactly.
And I could go on and on and on with that, with so many other things. And so to sit there and it's just when I hear it, for example, that we're the worst country ever, yet we need to allow immigrants to keep coming in here because this is the country that they want to come in to. Well, don't you see you're contradicting yourself?
Right.
You say the country sucks.
Right.
People are doing everything to come in, and you're saying the country sucks.
Right.
Well, you're really not being realistic. most people, when and I played when you were out the other day. It was I forgot his Patrick Ewing.
Oh, yeah.
An interview done with him. It was a charity, and he talked about the United States and coming here. His parents came here.
Yeah.
It was Jamaica that they came.
Yeah.
It was Jamaica.
Yeah.
But he talked about the fact that the opportunity here was everything. He said, "Don't ever." He goes, "This is the country of opportunity," and it still is, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Even with all the challenges that we face, this is the country with opportunity. And I tell this to young kids all the time.
Right.
I'm like, look, you may not be, and it's always been this way. You may not get to do exactly what you wish to do in your life. But what I have found out, and I've told this to so many young people, and now they're at the point where so many young people that I started, few of them mentoring, going back 20 years ago, they understand it now because they're not doing what they originally thought they wanted to do in their 20s, but they're doing something where they've gained respect. They've gained the respect and confidence of the people that they work for, and therefore they've gotten more control of what they do.
Yeah.
They're more in control as you get into the workplace for a while, and they now realize, they go, this is great because now I've got much more power and control over what I do, and I've realized you're right. It doesn't mean that I'm necessarily working in what I thought I wanted to work in 20, 25 years ago.
Right.
It's where I am right now and how I can see that I can change things and be productive and move things forward, both in my business and because of that in my, personal life too, the acquiring of wealth, which means you acquire wealth and therefore you get to decide what you do in your life.
Right. Right.
And and to see that, that's what opportunity is about. Opportunity is not, well, I wish to do this at 15 years old, and if I don't get to do this by the time I'm 25, then everything goes to hell.
Yeah. It's again, it seems to be like all in or not in at all for the left.
Yeah.
Again,
if it's hard, it sucks.
Right. Exactly. I don't even know where to find my birth certificate. What?
Yeah.
Huh? That's going to cost me $23? Let me get out my $1,200 phone and Google that and see. It's stupid. We're being stupid. We're choosing as a nation to be stupid. We're making stupid choices all the time. I'm not making any, by the way.
Yeah,
I
but
want to clear that
the
up.
left ideology is stupid.
It's just moronic.
Identity politics is stupid. It's judging people by not judging people individually by the content of their character and judging them by groups, which is the identity politics of the Democratic Party, is stupid. Racism is stupid.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
We got to play that Stephen A. Smith cut again from earlier this week.
Oh.
Him talking about, and you asked the question, man, can you run as a Democrat these days by saying these things?
Yeah.
But everybody knows it's stupid.
The radical transgender movement. A man can be a woman if the man wishes to be.
Right.
And a man should be able to go into a woman's locker room and show his genitals.
Right.
You're stupid.
Right. And you're stupid for thinking people are all going to buy into that.
Yeah. We are Red Eye Radio.
Get in touch with Red Eye Radio, toll free at 866-90-RED-EYE.
We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. And there it is. U.S. Olympic hockey star Quinn Hughes calls America the greatest country in the world after a game-winning shot. I look after a game-winning shot. And I look at it, and we're not people that don't understand the challenges that we have as a society and the evil things that happen in any society.
Right.
We're not easily BS'd.
Right.
It's tough to do it. We're older.
Yeah, we've seen it.
Yeah,
enough.
We've gained wisdom. which means we've been around long enough where we've seen the same BS over and over and over again. And knowing that, I can say the United States of America is the greatest country in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Not from false patriotism, not from an unrealistic, delusional observation of ignoring the challenges and things done wrong in history. It's understanding that human beings are all flawed, and what is the system that's best set up for them to live in, and it's right here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of people take it for granted. I just do. Look how great we've got it. Look at how great your life is in this country. It's not perfect, but compare it to other countries.
Top of the Hour News is brought to you by House Products. Visit houseproducts.com.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One. Now, it's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. I'm Gary McNamara. He's Eric Harley. Good morning. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You had mentioned Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
There's been more being written because he said he's thinking about running.
By the way,
and you said we've got to play his audio because
we do.
It might be the audio cut of the week.
I think we're going to get a lot of mileage out of this because it's so important to hear someone like Stephen A. Smith say it. He's a guy who, coming from the sportscaster background, still doing that, then started making political comments along the way, and has said some very, over-the-top liberal things, and then in recent years, things had started to shift. And it's notable. Now, what I'm looking forward to, if he does run, is how he's going to have to tag his commercials. I'm Stephen A. Smith, and I approve this message. That's going to be cool, because he yells. No, I think it's, again, you and I always break down the psychology of what people are actually thinking. We had the study that showed how many college students just go along to get along. They want to make sure that they make the grade. They don't want to espouse anything but radical liberal ideas because they think there will be pushback at some level if they do. So what are people actually thinking? Is the question. We know there are flat out radicals out there, but how many people think like Stephen A. Smith? I do think we saw some of that in the 24 election. I don't know how much of it has changed since then. Is that movement growing, or that tendency to say, you know what, I really don't care what people think. This is how I'm going to vote. This is how I'm going to live my life. I don't know. Again, it's hard to gauge, and you can't always gauge everything from one election cycle.
Well, the other about Stephen A. Smith, let's understand. I think Jim Geraghty wrote a great column yesterday. Not another television celebrity candidate. Talking about Stephen A. Smith, and he wrote on the menu today, when we contemplate our options for the next president, we should not swoon at the thought of a television celebrity with the bombastic personality and outspoken opinions who has never served in any role in the government at any level. Well, at least not another one.
Not another, right, exactly. That's funny.
But he goes in and talks about the fact that, and it is true, so much when you see the Democrats right now, everything is performative.
Yeah.
It's become a performative art. How can I sell you something? and he makes the question, and it's a great question.
Yeah.
You know, Stephen A. Smith has said, you know, the Democratic Party has lost its way completely. Well, when you talk about the cultural issues, which really have swayed many Democrats.
Yeah.
But when you talk about the other issues, and he writes, what would he do? What would he do? How would he lead when it comes to the budget? And I think the answer would be, well, as good as any other president has.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Which is, they all say they're going to do something about the budget.
Yeah.
We're going to do something about Social Security. He goes, but could he really do it?
Mm-hmm.
And then this is just great. He said, but I bet that Smith has a better answer on what the U.S. should do if the People's Republic of China invades Taiwan than Representative AOC does. But that's an exceptionally low bar to clear.
Well, or is it, though? I mean, in the Democratic Party, is it such a low bar? It is for us.
Right. You know, it says, do you want Stephen A. Smith answering a 3 a.m. phone call? How confident do you feel with Smith in the White House Situation Room responding to the news that a border skirmish between India and Pakistan has escalated and both countries are putting their nuclear forces on high alert? Well, you can say that about every single Democratic candidate out there.
Right. Exactly.
Would you want Harris in there?
Right.
Would you want Biden to have dealt with that? Would you,
exactly.
And so you could go across the board, on that. But the problem is, it's what you saw in Trump's first term. He didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
It was he didn't have. Remember when Comey said, we knew they didn't know what they were doing, so we knew we could do things to try to get Trump.
Right.
Because we knew they didn't know what they were doing.
We could bypass White House counsel and send a couple of agents over. One of them was Peter Strzok.
Yeah, because we knew it was just a complete mess because, of course, it was going to be a complete mess because he's never served before.
Yep.
The people around it, and you need an organization, and, you need an organization, you need to have people in there, and you see in his second term, he is much more determined.
He's actually making the phone calls at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
that's the difference with Trump. He's actually making phone calls, not taking them.
Whether you agree or disagree with him, his second term as to what he wishes to do is much more blunt and focused than it was in his first term.
Right.
And that's the thing I think that Geraghty probably is talking about because when Trump first ran, of course you have the question, well, if you're in the Senate, if you're part of the House, the Senate Intelligence Committee, and you come up that way, or you're a governor, whatever, you have, been over a huge governmental organization, which is different than a business organization.
Right.
But you look at it and go, do you want, I can imagine somebody saying, a couple of years ago, in 2014, 2015, would you really want Trump answering that 3 a.m. phone call? It ended up being, do you want Hillary? But it was still.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
But it was a solid point. And I look at it and I go, yeah, on foreign policy, to me, has been one of Trump's great successes, even if he keeps you guessing on what he might do next that you might not approve of.
Right. Right.
And every time I've had that, he's done what I believe, for the most part, has been the right thing on foreign policy with Democrats in government, where, who was it who said that, was it Biden was wrong on everything he ever stood for? Who said that? It wasn't Obama said that about him, was it?
Was it?
I forgot who said that. Every foreign policy decision, Biden's been on the wrong side. And so when you look at it, Trump's done, a good job. But again, it's when you haven't been in politics. In my career, I've been asked. One time they put out the feelers, would you want to run for Congress? I go, absolutely not. That's not what I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what I do. I have no interest in doing it.
Right.
I wouldn't want to do it. This is what I love doing. And so when you claim, look, I believe that I'm the one that can help change everything, there's this thing that all you need is me in there, and if I get in there, I'm going to be able to change it. And once you realize the mechanism is so huge,
right, yeah,
you realize it's more than just performative. But we did ask the question the other day with Stephen A. Smith. He said this, can he get through a primary is the question with Stephen A. Smith.
Right.
Here we go. Let's play this part.
Does you worry about racism if he ran for president?
No. I know it exists. I know that you can't escape it, but I do not believe it is as prevalent as some on the left would like us to believe. I do believe a vast majority of Americans judge you on the content of your individual character rather than the color of your skin. I think a lot of people in America, especially in this day and age, now more so than ever before, it's not about race. It's about the fact that they don't give a damn about it because they got their own problems. That's entirely different than believing they are superior to you and they want to hold you back from ascending. That's not what's going on to the degree that it was decades ago. What's going on now is that we have more white Americans and others suffering and worried about the state of our nation. And because they're concerned about that, that's where their worries lie.
Yeah. I don't see how that can win a Democratic primary.
I just don't. I don't know how you get through even one debate without the rest of the candidates going.
There has been one thing consistent since I have been a radio talk show host since 1989, and that is the one consistent is the promotion of racism through identity politics. I remember when it first started. Excuse me. I remember when I got in to radio and recognized it for the first time. And it was black conservatives. It was people like Larry Elder, black conservatives. It was, Walter Williams that were, remember Armstrong Williams. Yeah. When they first came, especially in talk radio, when we paid attention, there was like a huge camaraderie in talk radio, which really was started by Rush nationally in '88. And then there was a camaraderie of radio talk show hosts, and you paid attention to it. So I saw the fact that the left immediately attacked them as Uncle Toms. And I went, what are you talking about? Well, no, if you're black, they would be blunt. If you're black, you need to vote with Democrats.
Yeah.
And that still is part of the thing, that if you do not, if you're a police officer, if you're a black police officer, remember, you're not black, you're blue.
Right.
That you have to believe in a specific ideology, and you must be lock in step with it 100%. You cannot have your own thoughts. That to be a black in the United States means you must conform and can show no individuality whatsoever. Well, that's as damn racist as you can possibly get.
Well, remember Obama scolding black men over Kamala Harris.
You don't
remember that?
I didn't even know you were going to go there. And I haven't.
You have it?
I have an audio cut.
Oh, okay.
I have an audio cut from Stephen A. Smith.
Okay. Yeah.
Here we go.
All right.
I respectfully disagreed and still remain pretty salty about what you said about us. And I feel even more adamant about what your husband, Barack Obama, said when he talked to those men in Pittsburgh and implied that to not vote for Kamala is because we're engaging in some sort of misogyny. There are issues that matter to every American citizen.
Wow. I had no idea, by the way, you had that.
I know, and I had it ready.
I can't see your screen, by the way, for the audience. I can't.
He didn't know I had that.
You're facing me, and so I only see the back of your computer screen.
I didn't know. I didn't know when I was going to fit it in. I didn't know it was going to be today, whatever. But it was right there. It worked.
Yeah. And, I just watched Cat Williams' latest stand-up special, and he brought that up about who they tried to blame for Kamala not winning. He goes, they tried to blame black men. And I forget the punchline. For him, it's always about the left. For my observation on Cat Williams is he's not trying to make statements. It's always about getting to that the punchline. But he brought that up because he presents it, and before he gets to the punch, as this as a serious topic, these are the issues going on. But he brought it up, and I thought to myself, yeah, Barack Obama was blaming black men. If you don't vote for Kamala Harris, you're a misogynist. This is And Kamala Harris herself, in December of 2019, when her campaign folded, and she was saying America is racist and misogynist, and you and I were saying, no, this is the primary season. Those are Democrats. You need to be more precise, Ms. Harris.
Yeah. You need to say Democrats.
These are Democrats.
Are misogynist and racist. And we said we know that because we talked about it at the time. Yeah, identity politics. And we saw where the radical transgender movement was the misogynist radical transgender movement.
Stephen Colbert, just this week, we've learned how much of a misogynist and racist he can be.
Exactly. Yep.
This is not hard.
He dropped that quick, didn't he?
He really did.
He really dropped.
He's running from that like he is his job at CBS.
Yeah, I heard he did not bring it up the second night.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't.
No.
When he thinks he's got to win, he'll milk it. He didn't get the win here.
You know, I like. He's made all this money doing this and everything else. Yeah. They're losing money on him like crazy.
Yeah.
He should be happy going, and he's just so bitter. He's
tell.
So angry.
You can tell. He wants to be the victim.
It's exactly.
Give me a break.
And forget about the money. I don't care whether I can buy anything I want. Nobody loves me.
No, that's it. I don't get to be the hero.
Nobody loves me.
That's right there. That's their kryptonite.
I don't get to be a victim anymore.
A victim and a hero. Right. That's the virtue signaling and the victimhood on the left at the same time.
And then finding out how he lied about what happened.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can label him and go, well, that's because you're a misogynist racist. And where does he go with that?
Right. You can't go anywhere.
He go with that?
You can't go anywhere. The facts are the facts.
We are Red Eye Radio.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by House Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
Among the items in the Ag Economic Outlook for this year, as presented by Agriculture Department Chief Economist Justin Benavides Thursday at the opening session of this year's USDA Ag Outlook Forum.
The story for the year is progress being made on price. Not hitting it out of the park, not solving everyone's problems in terms of pricing overnight, but prices generally expected to move modestly higher.
With increases for the season-ending average price for corn, soybeans, wheat, cotton, and rice. As for planted acreage,
we see that this year we're trending more towards the soybean acreage side than we were at this time last year, and getting back up to about that 10-year average where we trend more towards the soybean production and a little bit less towards corn acres, this favoring a relative increase in the number of acres for soybeans as opposed to corn.
Leading to 94 million acres of corn and 85 million acres of beans projected to be planted, and a year-over-year decline in total acres planted for the 5 major commodity crops. I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley and I'm Gary McNamara. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
This could be our audio cut of the week. There's so many great audio cuts out there.
Yeah.
These are New York. This is a a black New York Democrat group.
Okay.
Protesting Mamdani.
Oh, wow.
Over his plan to raise property taxes almost 10% in New York City.
Wow.
Here we go.
All right.
The mayor, with the greatest respect, in every campaign speech, in every debate where you engage, we opened our ears to listen. Now today, accept the words echoing from us now. Do your job as mayor and leave our taxes out.
Saving only 2 options. You're saying if we don't tax the rich, then I got to increase property taxes. We are not a pawn in Southeast Queens. We are not part of your negotiation tactics.
You know, again, there's only so much you can get away with in effect. You know, when you start enacting that policy, and Mamdani was given a mandate. The numbers in terms of how he won gave him a mandate. He's doing what he thinks people elected him to do. But the fact of the matter is, again, you have to bring up that there's the one caveat And that's a significant portion of people who before the election said, no, I'm voting for the guy, but I don't believe his policies are going to work. That's we can't explain that mindset.
Right. But there's also a lot of people that want socialism and believe and by in order to promote socialism, you have to lie.
Yes.
We've stated this.
Well, and that's the thing.
Over and over
you have
again.
this Democrat group, they're having to walk this fence, but they know there's a line you cross.
And the line they cross, and I didn't finish the statement because the last guy said, right after that, he said, Mamdani, you are out of your GD mind.
Yeah. Yep.
Boy, how quickly that changed, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Every night, Eric Harley and Gary McNamara. Red Eye Radio.
I'm Gary McNamara. He's Eric Harley. Download our Red Eye Radio app today because we told you to. And it's Friday.
Yeah.
I have no idea what Friday has to do with it, but it sounded good.
Just do as you're told.
So that was quick, though. The local news stations out there looking for New Yorkers and, on Mamdani's 9.5% increase in the property tax and how they tried to sit there and say, well, but what it's going to be is, there's so many rental properties here that it's and they're rent controlled, so your rent's not going to go up, and it's going to be these landlords that are going to pay for that. And this gets back to, and I'm still amazed in this day and age. Because everybody understands economics because they understand their own economics.
Yep.
And as we've stated before, whether it was, followers of, we have been for the longest time, looking at, different economic systems out there from the socialist Keynesian economics to Adam Smith and Milton Friedman and others out there. When you look at the capitalist economist out there, and it's as simple. When you look at capitalism and you look at economics of capitalism, economics of everything, because you can have whatever form of system you want. I believe capitalism is the most natural form of economics, which is I trade with you, and you trade with me, and we're both happy, and we walk away.
Mm-hmm.
But economics is how you respond to incentive. Yeah. And we have populists in the Republican Party, and we have had liberals in the Democratic Party who for decades have been trying to tell you that if you make the cost of doing business harder, if you make it more expensive, that there are great benefits to the overall economy for doing so. There cannot be a bigger falsehood out there.
Right.
The other one that Democrats have pounded on for the longest time is that corporate taxes punish those evil corporations, and we, the American sucker, fall for it. Oh, yeah, get those corporations. Now they're going to pass it on to the consumer. No, they won't. Check gasoline. Why do you think gasoline fluctuates so much? If the cost of doing business goes up, they pass it on to you.
Yep.
We all know it. It's right there in front of us, and we sit there and go, where's it at?
We watch it on a daily basis on the retail level.
Yeah, exactly. And so we all know, but there is this, and this is what, when you start talking about this, that's where in socialism, as I've said, if you promote socialist economics, you always have to lie. You have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can sit and look at capitalism and go, no, it's going to be natural fluctuations here or there. But everything is how people respond to incentive. And if you're telling me, because remember the Democrats, this goes back a couple of years ago. Well, if you raise taxes, they're not going. We raise this corporate tax, they're not going to pass it on to the oil companies. If we do, that was the windfall profit tax.
Right.
Remember, Obama was trying to sell it.
In Houston.
Obama was trying to sell it, and there was the group in Houston he was talking to, and he said, are your gas prices too high? And they all went, yes. So you're sick of paying all these high gas prices? Yes. Well, I'm telling you, if I become president of the United States, because it was before, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so this would have been like summer of 2008.
Yes.
Was it? No.
Yeah, that's when, which is when
right.
oil prices hit their highest, $147 a barrel.
If I become president, we'll put a windfall profit tax on them. Yay! Well, he just said he asked you if you're sick of high gas prices, and they all screamed yes, and he communicated back to you that I'm going to make them higher, and everybody screamed in approval.
Yep.
And I never forgot to play in the audio cut going, listen to this. This is unbelievable. And the biggest successful lie, economically speaking, that the Democrats have done for decades is convince the American public that if corporate taxes go up, the company is punished and you are not.
Right.
And at that time, Democrats were trying to say, no, if we put a windfall profit tax, they're not going to raise prices. And it's like, but they are. You see them anytime there's a fluctuation, anytime the price of oil goes up or down.
Yep.
If the raw product becomes more expensive along the line, they will instantly raise prices. The American public can see it. Yet Obama could go before all these Democrats in Houston and sit there, and he has got to be thinking to himself, these people are the dumbest people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
I just asked them if they want lower gas prices. I communicated I'm going to raise them, and they cheered. They think it's coming down. Do these people have any critical thinking skills whatsoever? Hey, we don't want school choice. Keep the peons dumb. That's how we get into office.
Yep. Well, they were suing over, his administration was suing over school choice.
Yeah. Right.
You know, I mean, this is the approach. Remember when I forget, it was a commencement address. I forget which university. But it was basically, he told them, now don't go out there and get on your computers after you graduate. You're graduating college.
Yes.
Don't go out there and get all smart on us. Don't go learn things. That would be bad.
The most overblown blowhard in modern presidential history was the BS, in my opinion, from Obama.
Well,
because he does it in this calm, confident way, but it's still, oh, man. I can just, I've been watching some old Carlin, and I can see George Carlin go, bull!
Yeah.
Because he does the whole thing on BS, but just uses the word.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we as Americans, we produce BS. And as my father said, people want more, but please, BS me more.
Yep.
Tell me another lie.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. The Kevin Bacon syndrome, as we call it from Animal House. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Give me more BS.
Yep.
And Obama was the biggest purveyor of BS because of the way that, in my opinion, he presented it. The way he could filibuster. Hugh Hewitt said it the other day. He goes, my God, this guy talks for 5 minutes in an answer, or what it can be 30 seconds or 5 minutes, and he says nothing.
He says nothing.
He doesn't say anything.
Remember when he was doing his world tour, and he told all the nations of Africa, he said, hey, don't start having hopes and dreams about building homes, cars, and having air conditioning, because
the sea's going to boil.
The sea will boil over. And then he turns around and gets on his massive airplane built for one person. Yeah. I mean,
and says, we're going to have to cut back, but you can't have these. And he told them, basically, you can't have cars or air conditioning.
Yes.
He told this to poor Africans.
Yeah, I was watching Colin Quinn stand up, and he does this thing like world history stuff, and it's very funny, and he's very smart about it. but he actually brought that up during one of his bits.
Did he really?
Yeah. I was
Good,
like, wow, I thought Eric and Gary were the only ones. I thought we were the only ones that talked about it. I mean, we were just, and it was, conservatives noticed it. And I don't know exactly where Colin Quinn is, but he brought it up. I was like, can you believe that? But that's who he was, still is, but was as president. And that's the entire charade that the left plays. Look, what have we heard this morning? Democrats not happy with Mamdani. The governor of California doesn't even know where his birth certificate is.
Doesn't know how to find his birth certificate.
Does he know where he was born? I'd go, where were you born? That'd be funny. I'd be sitting there with him. Here, let me show you how easy it is. There's a thing called Google.
Well, Jim Clyburn was the interviewer, so you're not
of course.
from South Carolina, so
of course.
You're not going to. Well, and it could have been anybody in the mainstream media. Nobody's going to follow up on that because the next question would be,
"Oh, I don't know where mine is."
Because my question would be, "Are you an idiot?"
Well, now I'll say this, and I bring up stand up a lot for a reason because there's a lot of points made. Greg Warren, a great clean comedian, in one of his latest stand up specials, he goes, I hate going to the DMV because they're asking you for this. The lady says, "You have your birth certificate?" I haven't seen that in 58 years because he's like 58 years old. He goes, "I also don't have a copy of the United States Constitution." just talking about how unorganized he is. It was self-deprecating humor. And but for the current governor of California, a sitting governor, I don't even know where my birth certificate is. I can't find my ass with both hands. I'm not sure. I don't know what, What's this? I believe it. No, I believe. Then that's the thing. This is why we would never get a second chance at an interview with people like this. No, I believe you're that stupid.
No, so you are that stupid then. That's why you and I we couldn't be a part of the national.
We would never get repeat guests.
The national establishment media. Because nobody would ever come on. I had that problem when I was interviewing guests though. Because I challenge Republicans. Well, that's BS.
Well, you and I, in fact, in past years, we've had a few guests, and we just cut them off. You're lying, and let them go. Because they were lying.
Yeah. It's like you're lying. So, but, it's okay. We found our niche, didn't we?
Well, here we are. I'm still here. But it's.
Oh, by the way, you're talking about comedians.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me something. I checked it out. It's true. Remember we talked about Andy Huggins, the elderly guy?
Yeah.
He fell. He was in a hospital. He has a YouTube video. And he goes, he fell. He hurt his, hurt his hip, whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, he's laying in bed, and he's like the elderly comedian.
Yeah.
He's laying in bed thinking, God, I got so much great material out of getting hurt. That's how a stand-up comedian thinks.
You know that nursing staff and his doctors are probably one of the best patients ever.
And did you know?
I hope he does. I hope he's fine and comes out of that quick.
He was part of the he wasn't born in Houston, but he went down to Houston and became part of that whole basically Bill Hicks posse. He knew Bill Hicks early on.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened in between. I checked even Wikipedia. What he did in between, whether he's always stayed a stand-up comedian or decided to get back into it later on.
Right, yeah.
But my old friend, I just haven't seen him in ages, Dwight Slade, who, is in the Bill Hicks documentary, who worked at KXL with me in Portland, Oregon.
Right.
I don't know. I wonder if he knew Andy Huggins.
Yeah. I bet they probably ran into each other at least.
Yeah, if part of the Houston thing, because that was all part of it early on.
Right.
Dwight might have moved to Portland by that time. I don't know. But,
wow.
But I didn't know that. I was like, oh, so this guy has because he came out of nowhere. When I saw him, is he on Barstool? Is that where I saw him?
You mean Dry Bar?
Dry Bar.
Yeah.
Barstool.
different
media company completely.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I that's his rise really. Viral, the viral stuff, because it's funny. It's just so funny.
Yeah, it is.
Some of it's clean, not all of the Dry Bar stuff is clean. I think I've heard a couple of things that weren't dry bar that weren't as clean. But the dry bar stuff is safe if you're looking for clean comedy. But he's so funny. I mean, just hilarious. So we hope he's back on his feet in no time, or back on his stool.
Yeah,
you know? He sits down to do comedy,
but he gets away with it.
He gets away with it.
I'm old. Yeah. I'm going to go over here and sit down, and everybody's going crazy. Like, yeah,
it's just great. It really is. Yeah,
we are Red Eye Radio.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Trump announced yesterday they're going to release the Spock files.
Yeah.
That's
we're going to learn everything.
This is, somebody posted this. This is Trump from June 4th, 2014 on Twitter. It was Twitter at the time, not X.
Right.
This is great. I hope we never find life on other planets because there's no doubt that the U.S. government will start sending them money.
No, it's true.
I know.
Yeah, forget foreign aid. Interplanetary aid, right?
Right.
Interplanetary aid is through the roof. Yeah. And we know how those Martians like to spend.
I was waiting for Trump yesterday when he put out that post about, you see, where he said he believes Obama gave out classified information,
yeah.
But he's going to declassify and release all of it.
Right.
Now, they must not be here, because I was wondering if they're here illegally.
Right.
I wanted to hear.
Well, then it's and now let me bring up Tom Homan.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.